Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Raising A to Z. It is a YouTube channel all about homeschooling. My name is Amanda. I am a teacher turned homeschool mom, and today I am doing a much anticipated review on our favorite math program. Last week we did a whole video all about our curriculum choices for next year, and I got a lot of questions about why we love our math program, Master Books, Math with Living Education. This program right here. We've been using it for a couple years. We really enjoy it. I get some of my questions from last week, and also just like whenever I post a picture of the kids doing their math, I get tons of questions about this particular program. And so I thought I would come on here and do a review because I've got a couple years worth of books now. So I can give you an honest review of what it's like to work through their program. Before I give you my honest opinion on Master Books, why don't you guys go down here and subscribe and then click the bell. That way you can get notifications whenever we put out other reviews on curriculum. You can see how we do things and get some more ideas and inspiration on how to run your own homeschool. We've been using this for a while. We found this a couple years ago. Alexi started with level 1. That's kind of where she was at. And then this year she is doing her level 2. And then, like I said, for next year, she will be moving on to level 3, obviously. And Zoe will be starting kindergarten. So I found this program online. I found it on Amazon. I did some research. I heard some really good things about it. It was available on Amazon, which, considering we live in Northern Ontario, we don't have a lot of options for getting things shipped. Shipping can be quite expensive, and we don't have a lot of options locally. So that's what we went with about 2 years ago, because if anything didn't work out, I could return it right back to Amazon, right? So we went with it and we really liked it. Things that I really like about Master Books, how I really like the layout of Master Books. I really like that it's story-based. So whenever they introduce a new concept, because it's story-based, there is a story. So basically, as you work your way through the books, you're following a brother and sister, twins, Charlotte and Charlie, and they go on different adventures. They live with their grandparents for a while. They moved back to their parents. Like, they go through on different adventures and stuff, and they have their little story, and it's a very real life story. So in this one, they went to spend a couple weeks with their grandparents living on a farm. So all of the math was like farm-based. This one, they're getting a new baby sister this year. Like, you kind of follow the story throughout. You don't have to know the whole, you don't have to do the whole program to keep up with the story, but there's a little bit of a story. And because they use the story, it's all really real life based math. So they're always talking about like how they're going to use these math concepts in real life, which I think is one of the biggest problems with math, is that we teach it and there's no real life application for it. And the kids just don't understand how we use it. And so that's one of the things I like about this, is that it's very real life math. Another thing that I really like about the program is, let's see if I can find it, copywork. So every book has copywork in it. So it is practicing writing your numbers properly. And I think that is such an important thing that we don't, especially if you're a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, you're gonna really love the copywork aspect in this book. It's not excessive, like it's often, a couple numbers, and then it's done. But it's nice that it's there, because I find a lot of programs don't focus on number creation, number printing, and you get really messy math and problems because the numbers are not in the right space, they're not in the right spot, and your math gets messy. So I like that they put an emphasis on that, because having things neat and in order makes math so much easier, right? Another thing I love about the Master Book program is that it's already spiraled. So I did a whole video about spiraling and mastering programs. We'll put the link for that here. If you have a mastery-based program, you might want to spiral it. There's some great benefits to it. But you don't need to do that with this program because it's already spiraled, which means that the concepts come back regularly throughout the book. It's not just like you do a whole section on copywork, a whole section on addition, a whole section on subtraction. At the end of it, you will go around and then these concepts come up throughout. They'll have little practice these 3 addition questions, or do this money problem here, or figure out what time it is on this one. It comes back throughout. So in this chapter here, they were talking about perimeters. Okay, so we were doing perimeters, doing perimeters, and then boom, we have some money. All right, cool, just something to switch it up. Parameters, and then boom, we have some time. Again, more perimeters, basic addition. More perimeters, now we have some word problems. Like, and so that's kind of nice. It's always changing. Yes, you have a big focus of each kind of section or chapter is on one topic, but you're bringing these other topics in so that they're kind of always fresh in your kids' minds. One of the reasons spiraling works really well, and one of the reasons why I love this program, is I don't have to do any of that spiraling work. Other things that we really like about the Master Books program, I like that all the manipulatives are included. So math books and math programs tend to be expensive, especially if they include a lot of manipulatives, like counters, base 10 blocks, all that kind of stuff. But Master Books makes it really affordable because what they do is they want you to use what you have at home as your foundation for your manipulatives. And so they come with this whole, like this is the grade 2 book. All of this is all stuff that you would remove from the book, and it's all your practice sheets that you would just laminate. So you have addition ones, you have different cards that you would laminate. You have a 100 chart that you'd write in that has the answers on the back. So there's all different kinds of manipulatives that come directly with the book, and you just need a laminator or laminating sheets to do it. I really like that because I don't really believe that you need a ton of math manipulatives, and math manipulatives are stupid expensive. So that makes it really affordable. The other great thing about them is that for each level, they do add on more manipulatives, but they always include the manipulatives that they've used before. So for example, there's no math manipulatives in the kindergarten level. They start in the grade 1. The grade 1, I don't even have them in here because I took them out. It only had the place value houses. Then as you move on, each level, they include what you had before. So like this is level 2 right here. They have your place value houses that they included in the last level, so that if you decide to like start this program in grade 3, you have everything that you already need. You don't have to rip it out then, you don't have to redo it, but you do have you have it to keep going. So you're getting everything every time you use it, right? Another thing that I like about this program is that it is a Christian-based program, but it's not overly Christian. Does that make sense? I always say that we are Christians and we are homeschoolers. We're not Christian homeschoolers. We tend to use a lot more secular curriculum because I find it's easier to teach the concepts. And I find a lot of, personally, this is a personal preference, I find a lot of Christian curriculum, they make things really confusing because they're trying to teach God concepts and, like, for example, math concepts at the same time, and the ideas that they're trying to teach aren't very cohesive, and so it gets really confusing because you're trying to teach too many things at the same time. I like the Math for Living education because while it is Christian, they include Christian stories and Christian ideas when it makes sense with the concept that's being taught. Like, for example, the grade 1, I think the only time that it really spoke about God or Jesus was when they were talking about counting by twos and the story of Noah's Ark, because that made sense in the concept of that they were teaching. They're not putting in God references and ideas and stories just to put them in. It makes sense logically with what they're teaching, and it's not super, like, the focus is still on learning the math. That's something that I like. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of tons of religious curriculum because I find it gets confusing and the focus is split, and it would be so much easier to teach one and then the other. But that's just a personal preference of mine. So I say it's lightly Christian, which I kind of like. Things that I don't like about Master Books. First off, I do have to say it is American, which kind of sucks. Now, I don't have a problem with teaching kids American math because, quite frankly, it's very similar to Canadian math, and there's just a few differences. So for example, the big differences that you're going to find between Canadian math programs, you're going to find them across any program that is American versus Canadian. Your money pictures are going to be different because you guys have presidents on your money and we have the queen and animals in a boat. Like, that's how our money is. Our monies are going to look different. Your units of measurement are often different. So we have inches and feet versus centimeters and meters. You're gonna have liters versus quarts. Temperature is gonna be different, Celsius versus Fahrenheit. but I don't really see a problem with teaching either or teaching both, right? So because a lot, especially here in Canada, we do use a lot of both. We measure people in feet. I know like on official government documents, it does say like centimeters, but in real life, everyone says, how tall are you? You go, oh, I'm 5'6". Or how tall is that treehouse? Oh, it's 7 feet. Like everybody here in Canada uses feet quite often. We use a lot of we use teaspoons and cups when it comes to measuring ingredients for recipes. Depending on how close you are to the border, some places actually use a lot of Fahrenheit versus Celsius. So I don't have a problem with teaching both. I just have to be cognizant that I will have to teach the Canadian aspects, right? The metric system. But if you're okay with teaching both, because I think especially here in Canada, they both exist and they are both used quite interchangeably, I think it's fine. One of the things I like about the Masterbooks program is that it's not overwhelming. They don't ask you to do a ridiculous amount of stuff. I find some programs, you sit down, it's like, if it's addition, they'll have 20 addition questions on the page and they want you to do all of them. And the kids get overwhelmed because 20 is a lot for a little one. But if you look at Masterbooks, they don't do that. This is about learning subtraction with multiple columns. There's 4 questions for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not overwhelming. If you get the concept, you can just move on. You don't have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. Some people, I find it's really great, especially if you have a kid who's really flying through their math. It's not overwhelming. But if you do have some concepts that you want to teach, again, this is where the downside comes. You might have to supplement with something else. Now, they do have, like I said, with all of the manipulatives that are at the back, they do have placemat sheets where you could make your own. They have some sheets that you could fill in. So they do have things like this where you would laminate this and you can put whatever numbers you want. The other side is vertical. They have stuff like that. They do work really, really well. They do come with different types of fact sheets as well that you can use. You have to do them, right? If you want to practice those, you do have to have those things laminated and ready to go. So some people do that it's almost open and go, but you do need to be able to pull out your worksheet. So really at the beginning of the year, I just laminate everything and have it on standby. It just makes my life easier. But if you're going through it and you're not ready, you'll be like, oh, okay, we gotta stop now. Yeah, so it is, if you do everything ahead of time, it's open and go. If not, you're gonna have to laminate things randomly throughout the year. One of the things I really don't like in this program, and actually so much that we don't do them, is the idea of right brain flashcards. So this is a concept that I think is pretty unique to Masterbooks. They have this idea where they want you to get cue cards and the kids are going to write 4 + 2 = 6. And you're supposed to make it funny. There's supposed to be a story, there is 2 cows plus 4 calves equals 6, whatever, 6 cows or whatever. You're supposed to make a story to go with it. It's supposed to be kind of like an artsy, creative thing. It's supposed to get your kids to think on the other side of their brain, yada, yada. I don't like doing them. We never do them. I find them very time consuming. I find them really annoying. And I don't think they actually do that much benefit for the amount of work that you put into them. So we personally just skip that aspect. Whenever it talks about make these flashcards, we just skip it. Whenever it talks about practice your flashcards, we just skip it and we'll do something else. We'll either do one of the mats or write some questions on a whiteboard or something. Those are things that I don't like about it. But for the most part, I do really love this program. I love that it's colorful. I love that it's not overwhelming. It is on a 5-day schedule, which I think is a little odd that you could that they do keep the schedule in the book. But if that's what you're doing 5 days a week, it tells you it's often just 1 or 2 pages a day. We just kind of go until we're tired. So some days Alexi will go through and do 1 page. Some days she does 2. Some days she does a whole chapter in what's supposed to be 5 days worth of work in one sitting, depending on how quick she's flying through it. But yeah, she really likes it. It's a very fun and engaging program. It's spiraled, which is nice. It's colorful, which is nice. It's not overwhelming, which I think that's super great, that it's not pushing too much just busy work. If you get the concept, move on. Yeah, I really, really love the Masterbook program. I think it's a great program for a lot of people. It's also super affordable. Like compared to some programs where you're spending $200 or $300 a year on a math program, it's like $55, which is fantastic. Like 55 bucks for a whole year is amazing. So yeah, that's what we like about Masterbooks. We have been using it for 2 years now, and we're going to be starting our third. Zoe's going to be starting Masterbooks this year. Alexi is going to be getting into her 3rd year of Masterbooks, and I don't see any plan on stopping until we run out of programs that they have available. We just really, really enjoy it, and we're just gonna keep going. If you wanna buy some of these, or if you're interested, I'll have links below. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, click the bell like I said before, and then make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can see how we actually use our Masterbooks in real life. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.